Some of the content of Patriots Unfiltered may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world's original podcast.
Welcome to Patriots Unfiltered.
Mike and I are just putting our pants back on since the post-game show. I mean, we were all in.
The New England Patriots are on the rise.
Because it was on Universal.
They're on the come. What?
I didn't think the Schooler one was that egregious.
Oh, no, it was. I thought so.
He was out of bounds. I know.
But he was like three steps out of bounds.
He barely hit him.
Look at it again. He didn't
I saw it
launch.
like 7 times they showed it.
He didn't launch. He was already...
I don't care that he didn't launch. He hit him in the head.
Finish, or you're just going to interrupt
me? Keep saying he didn't hit him. That wasn't that egregious.
He's just not going to let me talk. I'm trying to explain what I saw, and you won't let me.
Can we just move on?
He just won't. All
right. How many times are you going to say he didn't hit him in the head?
I'm going to give my opinion on the play if you let me.
It's fine.
Is that okay? If you let me talk, I can have one. That's all I'm saying is, can I just give my opinion?
You said it 7 times. You didn't think it was a penalty. I mean, I get it. God, like, can we just say, like, it was a great win and just move on? Like, why do we have to be, like, picking at that
so we're not
play?
going to talk about the game. How's Barth doing? Is he okay? Like,
he's doing
did he soil his pants?
He doesn't travel, so he's watching it at home.
Does his mother yell at him to keep it down?
I'm watching the Patriots, Mom.
Shot.
Alex, I made meatloaf.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
All right, welcome to Patriots Unfiltered. It is Wednesday here at Gillette Stadium, a rainy day here in Foxborough. We always need the rain.
We do.
I don't mind if it rains as long as it's not on the weekend.
Sure.
That's good with me. But we're talking about still in the glow of the win Sunday night. But we're also turning the page because it's Wednesday and we're looking ahead to the New Orleans Saints, who I think have been more than competitive than I thought they would be.
Scrappy.
So you better watch out. You better watch out. As Bill Parcells would say, don't take the cheese.
Yeah.
Don't take the cheese. This could be a trap game.
Yeah, I spent the morning watching a little of them, and the thing that stood out to me is how bad their special teams are. I mean, they had, like, the first half against Seattle, it was like a punt return touchdown, a blocked punt, a kickoff return to, like, their own 40. So, you know, and then they were in, like, a 28-3 hole or whatever it was. So that might be an area the Patriots could look to pick up some field position, some yardage. Marcus Jones. Of course, we talked about the kickoff return, figuring out how they're going to handle that.
Figure that out with Gibby out.
Yep.
So it's Deuce, it's Evan, it's Paul, it's me, it's Alex in the booth. And we'll be talking Patriots for the next couple hours. Mike Vrabel at 12:55 will be coming on. That's become our Wednesday tradition now. See what the coach has to say. See how he's turning the page.
Mm-hmm.
So anything.
That's the key to the week, right?
Yeah.
You got to turn the page. You got to get ready for a team that you should beat on the road. Fred's right. They've had a couple of competitive games. So if you don't show up to play, you can lose in that league. I mean, these teams are not that far apart. The worst teams and the best teams are not like, it's not like college where you can bring your B or C game and get by because your talent is just that much better.
Yeah.
That's the key to the week.
Yep.
Making sure you're ready to play.
I mean, both of the first 2 games at home were, they're going to the end zone in the first one. The second one, they got stopped kind of midfield on the last drive. Even the Bills, it's a 2-point game in the fourth quarter. So I think there's plenty of little stats and numbers for Vrabel to put up there and be like, these guys are scrappy. I don't think that, Spencer Rattler is anything special, but they have some speed with the receivers that they have. And, those old veterans that are just the holdovers from the old Saint days, somehow they're still there, on both sides of the ball with Davis and Cam Jordan and, of course, the running back, Kamara. Yeah.
Yeah, they have like sneaky good skill talent.
Yeah.
I don't think they have the quarterback, and their offensive line is kind of in shambles right now, which if you want to project the Patriots blowout, Patriots defensive line taking over this game against the Saints offensive line is like how we get to that point. But Kamara's still got it. Like, he's not necessarily as explosive as he was earlier on in his career, but he can still run the ball, still breaks tackles at an insane rate. Rashid Shaheed's like one of the most underrated receivers in football. Had a breakout game last week.
Free agent next year. Huh?
Yeah.
I saw you highlight that.
Maybe.
A little speed.
Chris Olave, solid player, solid receiver. Cooks is still back now with New Orleans, so it's not a team that doesn't have some name brand talent.
Yeah.
Deuce mentioned the guys on defense with Cam Jordan, DeMario
Juwan
Davis.
Johnson's not a bad tight end either.
Yeah,
No, he's
tight
had some
ends.
catches,
Tight
yeah.
ends have given the Patriots some trouble.
Yeah, it's a first-time head coach. It's a quarterback that's probably not their future, and that's advantage Patriots big time in those categories. But it's not a team that's deprived of talent. Like they do have some players on this roster.
You know what I kind of liked stood out to me a couple times is Kool-Aid McKinstry, the rookie cornerback, kind of big, physical guy. He's been making some plays. Another interesting thing is Brandon Staley is the defensive coordinator. So that's a Fangio guy. Not sure he has the exact horses right now for that scheme that he's well known for, but a lot of zone coverage. And I think what I'd like to see is just what's the counter punches. There's two areas. It's in the receiving game. I think teams are going to continue to focus on Hunter and Henry and Diggs. Can another guy kind of step up and make up for that loss? If a team says, we're just going to take Diggs away. You beat us with DeMario Douglas, beat us with Matt Collins or Kyle Williams or any of those guys. And then I think the biggest question and the hardest one to answer is the running game. Like, what do you do? Are you ready to give a bunch of volume carries back to Ramondre and let him be the guy like he's been, over the last couple of years when they had injuries there? Remember Ezekiel Elliott, I think, was the last man standing when it was just all him. Is Travion Henderson ready to step up? And so I don't know if you can get by with just those two guys.
It'll be
dividing up the
interesting if they
roles.
bring up Jennings.
Yeah.
They activate him.
So they signed a practice squad guy yesterday, which I thought was interesting because maybe it does point to, I wonder if Vrabel's system is one that if you're on our practice squad and we've had you since training camp and an injury happens, we want to bring you up.
Yeah.
We want to stay in-house. We don't want to immediately go outside. Now, maybe they're trying to cook something up, sign somebody, trade for somebody, something like that. But
You jumped over to the Patriots, but I want to go back to the Saints for a second because they have a young head coach, Kellen Moore.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think of him in terms of, being that game strategist and, cooking up schemes?
I just look at it as Rattler. I mean, I'd say so you can talk all about schemes, but if you don't have a quarterback who can really execute at a high level and push the ball down the field, I mean, I think Paul said it initially, it's a lot of underneath stuff. I think Olave is the only one, Shaheed is the only one averaging more than 10 yards a catch.
And that's only because of his bomb that he caught last week.
Yeah.
I mean, Olave 7.4 yards a catch.
Yeah.
Like
tackle.
That's a good day for a running back.
Yeah, come up and tackle.
Yeah, I think that what their setup is really that Kellen Moore is running the offense and Brandon Staley is running the defense. So he hired a guy in Staley who has head coaching experience and has defensive coordinator experience so that he can be in the lab and call the plays. So Kellen Moore is calling the offense himself, and so that's like kind of how they divvied this up. Staley, I know that he had caught a lot of heat as a head coach and ended up getting fired by the Chargers, but he has a really sophisticated defensive scheme. They play a lot of match coverage, zone match. So it's sophisticated, it's complex. Deuce mentioned Fangio. It is from that tree.
Yep.
So they're playing a lot of match quarters this year. And so they're going to kind of spin the dial on you a little bit on the defensive side of the ball. It's a good scheme.
It's interesting because you say it's a sophisticated defense, but when Staley was with the Chargers, wasn't he a kind of a conservative head coach?
No, total opposite.
Really? Maybe I got him mixed up with somebody else.
He was driven by the nerds.
He put the fourth down on the map.
He was really one of those guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's what ended up being his demise. But defensively, they play a lot of two high safeties, and they really play a lot of zone, but it's match zone where if you run a vertical route, then it gets covered like it's man-to-man, but if you run underneath the defense, it gets covered like it's zone. So it's a sophisticated, kind of complex defensive system that they run, which, obviously is stressful on their players and they have to learn it and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, it's the hit scheme, defensively, it's Fangio's tree and they're doing a lot of those different things. So it's fun to watch their defense on film because of that. They run a lot of different scheme and exotic things, especially third downs that even gave Josh Allen some problems a couple of weeks ago, just nobody open, like taking sacks because they're not getting receivers open against the defense. So it's sneaky. It's again, I'm not like trying to hype them up like they're this.
I've already
10-win
talked
team,
myself
but-
into be nervous about this game. So
Yeah.
I'm already.
The three of you are getting me nervous about this game, and I'm not nervous
I,
about it.
I really think it's in the NFL. It's hard to be a team that can't do anything right.
Yeah.
Like even the bad teams can do something right.
So
now
I agree
they're
with
bad
you.
because they don't do enough right.
Yeah.
But there's always something that they can do pretty well.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
and we've
that's why
talked
I-
about it.
Yeah, that's why I said the thing about it's not college where just the gulf
Right.
is enormous between the haves and the have-nots. This might be one of the lower echelon teams, but they still have players. I just don't believe in Spencer Rattler.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is why I don't think that they have much of a shot. But the more you guys are talking, and I'm just like kind of like filling in the gaps. Chase Young at one time was considered one of the premier young edge guys.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a disappointment, for sure. But there is some individual talent on the defense that Evan talked about. I'm curious your thoughts on Kellen Moore. I've always kind of thought of him. I think he has a reputation of being a really good offensive coordinator and kind of an innovative guy. I kind of think his offenses have been disappointing. When he was with the Chargers, you're supposed to have fixed Herbert. I don't really think he did. He was with Dallas for a while. I don't know. Was he that good? I mean, from a
Yeah, I
schematic
think the
standpoint,
jury's certainly out on him.
So he's blended his scheme now with what Jason Garrett was running with the Cowboys, and now he's running what Philly ran last year and some West Coast principles and some of their offense, from the gun too. Like Rattler's run the ball by design quite a bit, and so I don't think that it's like I wasn't like blown away by watching their scheme, but their offensive line is so bad that I just like when it comes to scheme, if you can't block, it's hard to start like dressing things up and get guys open with scheme and all that kind of stuff because you just don't have the time back there to let it plays develop. But I wouldn't say he's like, elite or anything like that as a play caller or, an offensive architect. But he every once in a while there was some things that they ran that I was like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. Like they, especially the quarterback design runs and the RPOs and that kind of stuff.
We'll get right into the emails because we've got Vrabel coming up, and so we want to make sure we get people in here. And about the game, Matt in Wichita, he says, I'll start by saying this is a team the Patriots should absolutely be able to handle. With that said, I'm a bit concerned with how the Saints run their offense. They funnel a lot of the passing offense through Kamara at running back and Johnson at tight end. If there's a clear area that the Patriots defense has struggled with, it's been linebackers playing in coverage. The linebackers will likely have to step up this week versus a team that likes to throw to the tight ends and running backs a whole bunch.
Yeah, I mean, I throw the safeties in that group too. I think the safeties really on the tight ends has been a matchup that teams have taken advantage of, going back to last week too with Kincaid. But yeah, the tight ends have been an issue since training camp, joint practices, every game. Probably highlights, where they're going to have to get better when they have a chance in the offseason to improve a little bit. But I don't know, Kamara, he still looks the part. Like if you just look at him not moving, I'm like, he still looks like an elite, but he doesn't quite move the same way he once did. He doesn't scare me a lot. It's really, I think like I said at the beginning, I think you win this game in the margins. You dominate on special teams. You tackle well. You make everything hard for them. I think over the last couple of years, we've gotten a crash course in what it's like to be a bad football team and what needs to happen for a bad football team to win. And the Patriots have to avoid doing those things that over the last couple of years gave the Patriots opportunities to win with stupid turnovers, a couple broken tackles, a big play to Shaheed. Seattle that's how Seattle did it. They just raced out big plays on special teams, finished with touchdowns, and they never look back. But otherwise, all these games have been fairly close, and they won last week.
BB and NH says, wondering how you think Kamara will fare against our run defense. We're the only team in the league to have not allowed a 50-yard rushing game from a running back through the first 5. Does that say more about our talent or the lack thereof of our prior opponents?
I mean, Buffalo had the best run offense in the league coming into the game.
the run defense has been good.
I'm starting to believe. I mean, I was skeptical early on. I think like I said, stats sometimes can be deceiving. Matchups can be deceiving. Even like Ashton Genty looks a lot better now than he did in week 1. But I'm starting to believe in those guys. And, there are going to be some plays to be made.
How does Tavai help?
Versatility, I think.
I thought he helped a little bit last
me
week.
Too.
I
Yeah.
thought, early downs, and not to pick on Christian Ellis, but I think he's just sturdier and just a better run defender than Christian Ellis. And even if it's just like a first and second down roll, or, if they go into big personnel, 12, 21, like those types of sets where they have multiple tight ends on the field, like I think Tavai is just better at stopping the run than a guy like Christian Ellis.
agree.
I love how Jack Gibbons plays. He plays with his hair on fire, but he can play a little bit too much recklessly. And so like Tavai just being kind of like a steady gap plugging linebacker, I think could be helpful.
My bigger question is just, is he going to be on the field in nickel with Spillane as the two off the ball guys?
Yeah.
I think we saw more of him last week when they would go into base and they would put him on the edge. And I thought he was pretty good there. He lost it once, but it wasn't a huge gain. But he's a physical guy. It's just they don't have a lot of depth on the edge, and especially with Chase on out. And now we don't know what's going on with Keon White. He had an elbow injury in the game. So I think he really just helps pad some of that uncertainty on the edge, give you some options.
Yeah.
Okay. Blue Koala David writes in, if the Patriots go down to the Saints and play an okay game and end up losing, would that be the defining moment to what this team and overall season will be? We get hot, then cold, up, then down. Sorry if y'all have discussed it. I never get to listen live, so I have to wait till it's on Spotify.
I hope not.
I hope not. Yeah. I mean, I don't really feel like it's been like that. I mean, the last couple of weeks, it feels like,
I think
other than the
it's been
turnovers, it's been kind of building a little bit.
Building. Yep.
So we'll see. But this is a great. I mean, I'd love to hear what the stat is. Paul, you had a great stat last week, I think, from Felge about Vrabel's record as the big time favorite. What's his record as a big time underdog to those games? Just as a little bit of a stat too.
Yeah, I don't know what the numbers are
Let down
as a
teams.
favorite, but yeah, it played out. He was 4-4 as a touchdown plus underdog, and now he's 5-4.
Yeah.
In that scenario, while the rest of the league has a winning percentage of 17% during that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, we were talking before the show. One of your guys on the radio, Joe Murray, pointed out last night that in the history of the Patriots regular season, they have never won 3 road games in a row. Stretch of 3 in a row. So I thought that was interesting. I can understand. That's pretty hard. It's hard to do in the NFL to go on the road and win 3 straight road games.
Regular season.
Regular season.
And you're talking about 3 straight weeks.
3 straight weeks.
I know that you knew that, but
Right.
I just want to make sure that fans,
Yeah.
they went undefeated in 07. I think they won 3 road
Right.
games.
They didn't
in a
have
row.
3 in
They
a
might not
row
have 3 in
during
a
that
row.
season. So
Yeah.
did we find out how many times they've had the opportunity?
No,
to do it?
I did a quick AI search, and it said that is
And
not
it's completely
not
wrong.
able to quantify that, but it has happened.
What good is it?
So I'm sure that I'm not doing it right. It's user error.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, we don't play in the games and we feel some of these road trips, and like it's also New Orleans and then it's Nashville. So it's like you got to be disciplined. Like you
Back-to-back
got to
party
be
cities.
like ready, and you got to be locked in, in these situations. Like
Yeah, I mean, it's more likely that in this 3 road game stretch, they'll lose 1 than win all 3, right?
Probably statistically. I mean,
I just
guess,
feel like
but
I'm
there.
like Bizarro Paul.
But,
Like I can't see them losing one of these 2
Yeah.
games. The Cleveland game, even though it's at home, I can see a scenario where that game could be trouble because I think that they could muck you down into a low-scoring game because they play good defense. I just don't see either one of these 2 teams having what it takes to beat them. But you guys have done a good job in the first 18 minutes of the show convincing me that it can happen.
no, because they shouldn't lose the game. Like we're all in agreement on that. But I'll
What's
just give
the line? Early line?
3.5.
3.5.
Patriots?
Yeah.
So 6.5.
I'll just give like a quick non-Patriots
expecting
example. In London last weekend, apparently Jordan Addison skipped a team walkthrough to go sightseeing in London, and they suspended him for the first half of the game or something like that.
It's like Keon Coleman
Right.
got suspended for
Right.
showing up late.
And I'm not saying I'm using a different team on purpose because I'm not saying any of
Yeah.
our guys would do that. But when you go to
Happens.
these cities that are fun to be in, that's a discipline thing. You have to, everybody locked in? Is everyone ready to play? I don't think it's because the Saints are good enough to beat the Patriots straight up, but if it's a second straight road trip and you got home late on Monday morning and it's just, it's
Start out
circumstantial.
sloppy.
Yeah, I just look
Right.
at the cliche. Like if you want to be sloppy and you want to turn the ball over, you can lose.
Yeah.
You can lose to anybody.
Any
The
week.
Giants are not a great team, and they were dominating the Saints last week until they decided to turn the ball over on 5 consecutive possessions, and all of a sudden they're down 2 scores and they lose.
Yeah.
Like it can happen.
Jules from upstairs chimes in.
Jules.
And again, this is from AI, so it could be wrong. But 2017, 3 consecutive road games in December: Bills, Dolphins, Steelers. Does that sound right to you guys? And 2020, Chargers, Rams, Dolphins.
But they didn't win them.
Yeah, but they had 3 games.
they had 3.
They had an opportunity to win 3 in a
I
row.
think
Yeah,
that's all.
AI says it's happened several times.
Yeah.
Yep, it's right about 2017.
Yeah.
Bills, Dolphins, Steelers.
They lost that.
They lost
Steelers.
to Miami, 27-20. They beat Pittsburgh and they beat Buffalo.
Was that the Gronk thing? The Gronk.
I remember the 27-20 game against Miami because it was on my birthday.
Oh.
And I had like the whole night planned because the Patriots are playing on Monday Night Football on my birthday, and then they lost to the Dolphins. And 27-20.
They lost
my
They lost a
birthday.
Monday night
100%.
game? Really?
It was like,
Can't
come
lose
on.
on my
I don't remember them
birthday.
losing the Monday night game.
Yeah,
in
and they
Miami.
did not play well either. It was they played, for Brady. They played sloppy.
Yeah.
Franklin in Baltimore, I agree. Rattler is not a quarterback the Patriots should fear. So naturally, come Sunday, he'll have his best game as a pro and be made to look like the second coming of Breeze. I can't tell you how many times the Patriots have gone against a functional starter, only to be shocked that they play better than we expect. Geno Smith, anyone?
Yeah.
Geno Smith is light years better than this kid.
Yes.
Yeah. I would just say I'm in the honeymoon phase right now with this defense of like being like they're too aggressive to like let anybody sit back there. And I kind of agree with the general sentiment when you kind of sit there and build the wall and have some time. I mean, I never loved that on early downs, and now it feels like they're coming to get these guys. So I just like that. I like that approach for a number of reasons, including avoiding a letdown. Like you're going to go there and be aggressive. Like you want to fly around and make mistakes at 100 miles an hour. And I think it's maybe harder to have a letdown when that's your playing style and how you're going to go into an attitude of aggression and we're going to leave it all out there.
And that's why when the email was asking, I think Kamara is a potential mismatch against their linebackers, but are you going to trust Rattler to sit there and read it out and get to the matchup and then consistently make those decisions over and over again? And even if he does, how many yards are they really going to generate off of little angle routes out of the backfield to Alvin Kamara?
Swing passes.
It's one thing, that in
Screens.
Miami, Achane broke a tackle and goes 30 yards to a touchdown. I don't know if that's in Kamara's bag anymore.
Yeah.
So if it's 8 or 9, 10 yards at a time, I don't know if you win that way.
To your point and Mike's point, he's averaging 4.5 yards per catch
Yeah.
on 17 catches.
Yeah, okay.
Per catch.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's not breaking off a lot of those 30-yard, angle routes.
No, and that's
One other guy, I'm thinking back to the last, I think it was the last time they played the Saints here. It was a Mac Jones game.
yeah, I think so.
And it was a mess, right?
Blowout.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Not-
thinking of Taysom Hill
Yep.
was a factor in that game if I recall.
Another one of the guys.
And he's
that's
back.
still
He
hanging
came
around.
back last
Yep.
week, which is what?
So strange that he's still on the team.
Yeah, I
Oh.
know.
I thought you were making fun of me for bringing out Taysom Hill.
No.
They used him
yeah,
last
short yardage
last
guy.
week a
Yep.
little bit. Yeah.
Sure. Yep.
Which is, he threw a pass.
Yeah.
And
Downfield.
it's so bizarre to me because I think Spencer Rattler's a better runner. And so there you go. And I get it. Taysom Hill's bigger and
Yeah, he's the power guy.
yeah, but they go to Taysom Hill on these design quarterback runs, and I'm like, if I was the defense, I'd be like, bring it. Cool.
I used to say that when he did this when Drew Brees was still there.
Yeah.
I used to say if I was the opponent, I'd be thrilled every time they do it.
Yeah.
You're taking a Hall of Fame quarterback off the field to let him run. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You piqued my interest, Paul. I think I blocked that game out like many of them.
Oh, it was a bloodbath.
Well, there were two games that I'm thinking of, and I think that New Orleans won. I think they beat them twice.
The Saints won against Mac Jones.
in Foxborough.
He threw a pick six very early on in the
In the
game.
second half.
Oh, yeah. 2023, October 8th,
34 to
2023.
nothing?
34 to nothing.
It was right after. It was
Right.
Dallas and New Orleans back to back.
Was there another
Yeah,
game?
they lost to him in 21 as well.
21.
28-13.
The 28-13 game was Jameis Winston, I believe, and Taysom Hill ran the clock out at the end.
Yep.
I
It was
remember.
21-13,
Yep.
and they just ran the ball down the
You're
field.
100% right.
And Taysom Hill ended that drive and ended the game with a touchdown. So there was two different games that I was thinking of.
Oh, 34-0. It started off halfway through the first quarter with a Honey Badger 27-yard pick six.
Yeah, and I think they had another one in a Jonnu Smith served up on a platter kind of pick.
Foster Moreau.
Ooh, Foster, the island of Foster Moreau.
Dark days.
But when Evan brought up the angle route for Kamara, I think that he had one of those, and I think Jameis Winston may have hit him for one of those in one of those two games. All the things that you would go in and say, well, you can't let Kamara do this. And then
He did
they let Kamara do that.
Let's see. Who is this? Robin Coventry. I'm brimming with confidence after this weekend and hoping for an unbeaten October. However, if you could guarantee a winning streak of 3 games in a row, which would you choose? There's 4 options. Saints, Titans, Browns, Falcons, Bucks, Jets, Bengals, Giants, Bills, or Ravens, Jets, Dolphins. 3 in a row.
Probably Bengals, Giants, Bills, because that would be you sweep Buffalo.
Yeah.
And you should win the division if you can sweep Buffalo.
What about Ravens, Jets, Dolphins? So you end the season.
I mean,
winning 3
that's
in a row?
appealing to me, but they're also 2 crappy teams at the end, and
It's like 2000.
like the win at Ravens is even. I don't care what.
And
they
it's
look
like that's
it
why I
still would
always
feel
say, and
pretty
it's
good.
hard because you don't know how it's going to unfold.
Yeah.
But the whole, and I know you weren't doing this yesterday. You were just kind of playing the role. But like the whole, like if you told me they were going to be 3-2 before, well, yeah, I would. If you told me before the season started they were going to be 3-2, I'd be thrilled.
Yeah.
But did you tell me that 2 of the wins were going to be at Miami and at Buffalo? Because then I would say I don't want to be 3-2. I want to be better. I want to be at least 4-1.
Right.
At least.
Heck yeah.
If I won the 2 hardest games on paper on the schedule, like that's, I lost to Vegas. Like that's not good.
That's not good, Bob.
that opener, I am still trying to figure out
Right.
like what
They
From
weren't
a-
the Patriots yet.
from the game plan perspective, like what were they doing?
Like last minute, it felt like you woke up and you're like, "Oh crap, the game's today. We got to put a game plan together."
Defensively, just like running blitz after blitz after blitz, and then offensively, it was like
Just line up and run it,
they were just training camp offense with no.
and then next week
Sorry,
that they've
it doesn't
got,
matter now. Like,
Yeah.
but like,
Well, I think
Can't do anything about it.
right.
I was the first game, and maybe
Yeah.
yeah.
But like it was so opposite. Like offensively, it was the first game, and they came out like very vanilla. And then defensively, they did the total opposite, and they just came after Geno Smith and were running all these crazy like double corner blitzes and like all this stuff. And so like if you wanted to just go the extension of the preseason route, wouldn't you think you would do it on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll grab Josh in the hallway.
P.S. He says, my wife's pregnant with our first child due in January. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Great.
And we're searching for boys' names. She's already vetoed Brady and Julian. So any sneaky suggestions I can put on the table?
Drake,
Gronk.
Gronk.
not Rob.
Baby
just-
Gronk.
How about, like,
Fred.
look at your family and, instead of these wacky names, like,
Yeah.
and whatever you do, give the kid a name knowing that someday he's going to be an adult. No Scooter or, all these little names that, it's cute when you're 2 years old, but someday you're going to be 30. And, like,
Tell me about it.
yeah, like some of these parents, they just think their kid's going to be a kid for the rest of their life, and they give him this name that is not an adult name.
Yeah.
It's not appropriate for
I think
adults.
Fred should come back around. I mean, Fred, there's not a
Well,
lot of
Fred-
little Freds out there.
Fred's okay.
Fred's an
but
adult name,
Fred's,
though.
Yeah,
Right.
Fred's
Oh, yeah.
the guy next
Right.
door name.
Wouldn't that be fun now? You see a baby, it's like little baby
Yeah.
Fred.
I don't
Freddie.
particularly love Fred.
Little Freddie.
yeah.
That's hilarious.
I prefer to go by Jake Steele.
I think mics are dying down too. Like there was mics everywhere in my generation. Like I mean, there were 4 of us on the hockey team, and my roommate was a Mike for 4 years. but
Mike
not a lot
is
of mics
ageless.
anymore. Yeah.
Mike goes like Mike
Yeah.
is just khakis.
Well, sometimes I don't know who
you
we're
can
talking
wear
about.
him
There's
anywhere.
Felger, there's Reese, there's Vrabel.
There are. But I'm like Fred. I kind of gravitate to the traditional names. I think there's a reason why, people have been named that for 100, 200 years. 'Cause,
Yeah, like if there's like a great grandfather or grandmother in your family that you want to resurrect, I think that's cool.
Yeah.
like keep the name going.
Yeah.
That's your family. But these, we're gonna name our daughter Tuesday. And why?
They love the
Because
Addams
Wednesday
family.
was taken.
Like I think names should have
6, 7.
meaning, and not just they sound cool.
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah.
It was a celebrity that named their kid Apple.
Yeah. Gwyneth.
You know,
Gwyneth
Yeah, like
Paltrow.
Yeah.
Paltrow.
what are we
Not,
doing?
not the other. Pal.
Our child's special, so we're gonna give them a special. Like get over it.
Like we wanted to name our kids something that
I
was
had
a
no
little
idea you
bit
would get
different,
angry
but
about
not
this.
too weird. So my kids are Tyson and Campbell, and they're like kind of common,
that's
but
borderline.
a little
That's borderline.
weird.
I was waiting to see what Fred's reaction was going to
But
be.
unique enough that
Tyson
there's
eat
no
a lot
other
of chicken, or what's going on?
And
there?
Campbell eats a lot of soup. We
Right,
love American
yeah.
food thing.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
We were watching Monday Night Football the other night, and Tyson Campbell was playing for the Jaguars, and Jess was like, "Oh, Tyson Campbell," and I was
So
like, yeah.
what about the receiver from
But was there a
Arizona State?
Tyson or a
I'm like,
Campbell
let's
in
get
your
a-
family?
No.
Oh,
No?
just, you
Is
just
the
decided?
receiver Jordan Tyson?
Jordan Tyson.
But it's Tyson.
Yeah, that's how I spell
That's how your
it.
son's.
Tyson?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, how else would you spell Tyson?
I don't know.
Well, nowadays it could be
didn't think that was-
Tyson.
dash
I didn't
SON.
think it through. I don't think I've ever met anybody.
So we
named
got a
Tyson.
Campbell first pick last year.
Yeah.
Maybe we get a Tyson this year. That would work great for my family.
All right,
They wouldn't care
855
at
Pats
all, but-
500 is the hotline. You can see it on the screen. Let's go see what people have to say. We'll start with Anthony in Seattle. What's up, Anthony?
Hey, what's up, my brother?
Hey.
Hey, I have two quick things, and I'll get off the line. One thing, this might be more of an Evan thing. I'm curious to know, are you still seeing Pop kind of get open on film? And it seems like to be this uncanny thing where
Yeah, it's-
him and May can't quite connect. One sneaky thing about Sunday night was I think the first touchdown of the night was about to happen when May rolled out to the left and was going to hit Pop in the end zone, and the Bills defender just barely deflected. And I'm just curious, like, are the coaches seeing that too, and is that like encouraging?
Yeah.
Are they going to kind of stick with
Is-
it? I love
is-
Pop, and I would love for this to
Is
get
Pop
going.
getting open? Okay, thanks. Your phone sucks a little bit.
I thought this was Pop's best game on tape. I thought he
Not
ran-
just but in the blocking game, too.
Yeah, I thought best overall game he played this year. He ran a really good route on one of the rolling pockets where he like kind of set up the defender, got up the field, broke, and kind of came back to the quarterback along the sideline. He was wide open on one of the blitzes. Might have been the coffee house deuce. Might have been the coffee house, and Drake just left the pocket, but he was on a slant right behind the blitz, and he was open in the middle of the field. And then the block he threw on Stephon Diggs' 30-yard catch was the same as the one he threw the week before for Hunter Henry. Giving effort in the blocking game, caught a screen, was open a couple times down the field. I thought this was much better. Like the route running, like the one catch he made along the sideline, like
Terrific catch.
that's a great catch, and I don't think that's really his game.
No,
I
I agree.
The toe tap and extension and
Great body control.
good
on that.
route.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if he's going to come in and catch 10 passes this week. I'm not saying that, but if you wanted to look for like what the caller was talking about, just like little things that he's doing well that might catch Todd Downing and Josh McDaniels' eye, I would say that happened in the Buffalo game.
Would he be your choice if you had to say who's the next Patriot receiver other than Diggs and Henry to have 5 or more catches? Would you say you put Pop on that?
Yeah, maybe. I could see Pop having a breakout game at some point. I don't know if it will be consistent. Like breakout might not be the right word, but like having like one of those like peak Pop games where he's involved and he's getting the ball.
Do you think teams are going to have to change how they look at Diggs now? Like,
Well, that's what I
is
was
he gonna
wondering.
draw a double?
As Mike was asking that question, that's what I was thinking at some point
trickle
because
down.
Diggs is now. I mean, I know that Diggs is an elite talent. Like, so you can say all you want. We're going to take Diggs out, and he's probably still going to get his.
Yep.
Because he's that good. I mean, that's been his whole career. He's been a volume catch guy. But at some point, someone's going to say, well, we're going to have to make someone else beat us on the key plays.
Right.
On those third downs and even fourth downs, we're going to make sure that he's not open.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to throw it to somebody else. Is it Douglas? The way you guys talked about Matt Collins the other day, like he ran a lot of for the love of the game routes,
That's
like
exactly.
just sort of occupying, do you sort of reward him one of these weeks and say,
shot to him.
this might be a week we can get him 4 or 5 catches. I don't know.
And he's one of those guys too that puts on the Chris Hogan invisibility cloak every
right.
once in a while, where like
Yeah.
he's like the fourth guy in the progression, and they just kind of forget to cover him.
Yeah.
So that could happen with Matt Collins, maybe more down the field than a
I
guy
saw a
like
couple
Pop.
down the field, maybe, potential. So maybe at some point. I just don't, like you said, I don't see him volume. I just wonder, Booty, does Booty have any ability to have a volume game and really step up?
He did in week 1.
Yeah.
No.
Yep. Mike in Long Island. What's up, Mike?
Howdy.
Hey.
How you guys doing?
Hey.
Hey.
So I know you got picks tomorrow. I'll try to keep it quick.
Yeah, please.
Three questions about Marcus Jones.
Oh,
When is he eligible for an extension, and would you?
yeah, right now.
2, nice.
He's eligible right now.
Who is the more valuable player, Christian Gonzalez, the corner, or the versatility of Marcus Jones? And 3, who is more electric, Marcus Jones with the ball in his hand, or that guy Brian from Lowell hit with his calls? And I'll take it offline.
Ooh.
Brian.
Brian. He's making fun of Brian, the caller.
Oh,
I thought you meant Brian.
I think Gonzalez is more valuable.
yeah. As the resident
Yeah.
president of the Marcus Jones fan club, Gonzalez is a more valuable player. I think.
Yeah, Marcus Jones this is his last year of his rookie deal, so he'll be a free agent, and he's one of the few current starters that will be up. I think it's a good question. I think he played really well last week, so it's hard to sit here and say, oh, I
It
don't
was
know.
one of his better games, I think, in the secondary.
Yeah, me too. That's exactly.
Because I have been pretty critical of him at times as a defensive back. I thought he was really good in that game. The play down the field. I mean, I know it was Coleman. I know he's not that good, but
that's the
it's still
matchup.
giving up a lot of size.
Yeah.
You know, I thought he was
like
really,
half
really
a
good
foot.
in that.
Yeah.
That's the thing for me. I wonder defensively what their preference is, because he's sticky. He looked great, but he's always going to be 5'8", and he's always going to have a target on him when they have a big receiver. That's always going to be a matchup that opponents try to take advantage of, and sometimes they will, and sometimes they won't. Last week he made some plays. There have been other examples where he hasn't made those plays, and you just see somebody go up and get it. So I'm really kind of on the fence. I love the person, the leadership. Voted captain this year. He's an elite punt returner.
I'd be looking to
and,
resign
and
him.
it goes a long way. So I think there should be a spot. I wonder if maybe they also bring in another guy to kind of help him with the slot a little bit. Some of the matchups, maybe you can pull back on that, and then maybe put him on kickoff return. That maybe that's a better way to spread him around a little bit.
Yeah, I would be. I mean, I'm a big Marcus Jones fan.
Yeah.
I think he plays much bigger than his size, and
I totally agree
I think
with
he
that.
tackles extremely well at his size, and I think in man coverage he's really been mostly really good. I mean, when you have to cover Shakir on a crossing route and there's no help, like I mean that's one-on-one, like literally training camp one-on-ones. Like that's hard to do, but he's a good player. Now, ideally, is he maybe like your third and a half corner, where like in some matchups he plays a little bit more in the nickel than other matchups? Like, yeah, I could hear that, but I think with the value that he brings as a returner, like it's more than valuable enough to give him a second contract between the two of him playing a role on defense and being an all-pro caliber punt returner. It's I mean, one of 53 spots, I think we can give one to a guy like that.
Yeah, I mean, a little more, if everybody's okay with it, a little more, free agent talk of just, Austin Hooper will be up. Like, I like him. I think he's a good complementary piece. Do you at some point, though, say we got to get younger at the tight end position? We need to add maybe a little bit more of a raw, dynamic kind of threat.
I would expect tight end to be near the top of their draft list next year.
It's not a great class.
No.
So like, they've had some really good tight end classes the last couple of years, and this is not shaping up to be one of them. So that's a factor. But I just wonder with Hooper, he's such a pro that like I don't know if he would necessarily like raise a stink if he's not playing as much as he's playing now. Right? Like if they draft a tight end and let's say that tight end ends up developing and is better than Austin Hooper, and he really becomes like the third tight end, but maybe they use him in goal line and like short yardage blocking and things like that. Like he's not one of those types of guys that's going to be like, down in the dumps and like
it's always
a cancer.
an injury position too. Like it feels like you always are going to lose one of those guys for some portion of the season. And of course your guy Tonga too will be up and Chase on. Couple, just there's not a lot of free agents next year, which I like.
And you
it's
also
just
have to pay Christian
try to
Gonzalez.
improve. Right.
Yep.
All right.
So
Longino from New Jersey. Just want to say I appreciate you guys for all that you do, especially Paul and Evan. Thanks to Evan and his ball knowledge, I'm able to properly have conversations with people and break down the play calling of what the team does. And thanks to Paul, I'm able to properly be snarky and counter-argue with people if I don't agree with their takes and tell them how wrong they are. You guys are amazing at what you do, and keep up the great work. Hey,
Something told me that was going to be a backhanded compliment, but I'll take it.
Take it.
Oh. At least he mentioned you.
Yes. Tim, our friend from Duncan. Great win Sunday night. Best win in a long time. I think we all need to give Paul Perillo the props he deserves for calling the outcome of the game throughout the week. whether it was on
Pretty good.
Unfiltered or Patriots All Access. He was confident the Patriots would pull the upset, as most everyone was picking against them. Just showed how well he knows the team and how they are trending. So on All Access, were you the only one that picked the Patriots?
Well, it's just Mike and I. Steve.
I was
is
going to
like
say it's Steve Burton
Patriots every
definitely.
week. He doesn't really. Steve doesn't really make a pick, but he gets mad at Mike and I if we happen to pick
That
against
must have
them.
been a dagger to the heart for Reese to
gets
hear
mad.
you pick the Patriots.
So I believe in the entire time, and then we've been doing it together probably for close to 10 years now. I don't ever remember a time, not a single time, that I picked the Patriots when he didn't. Now, normally it's Patriots All Access. We normally pick the Patriots. I mean, it is what it is. But usually when we pick against them, it's a pretty obvious spot to pick against them.
Sure.
And we both do. This one,
He
you
picked
know,
the.
he was
what was
stunned.
the score? What was the score?
My score was 34-33, so not really close.
But what about Mike's? Do you remember?
I think he said they were going to lose 27-20, something like that. Which, I mean, he actually had a closer view of the game. Like
you
way
had the
game
Drake May
unfolded.
last drive thing.
I did. I felt like it was going to go down to the last drive.
Shoot.
There's not a lot of stuff.
Golly.
There's not a lot of stuff
Finally.
that happened that I kind of like. I thought the Patriots would run the ball well. I thought I didn't think they could rely on turnovers. Like, they ended up getting 3 of them, 3 takeaways. So, I mean, I got it. I guess I'll take it, but it wasn't really.
No,
it wasn't a great prediction.
I mean, it's even more remarkable when you look at how good Buffalo's been at home and how long it's been since they've lost there, how clean they played football there. It's just a really hard place to win, knock them off.
But there was something about the way Miami was playing, the way Buffalo was playing, that I said, they don't look like they're really locked in.
Yeah.
And I felt if they weren't locked in against the Patriots,
do you think that this might be kind of an epidemic for some of these teams right now because the Chiefs and the Ravens, like they're all so good for so long that maybe, I don't know, I'm just spitballing of like holes are starting to pop or you're just kind of getting bored.
I have a sort of a different take.
I don't know.
This one might come back and haunt me. I think the Chiefs' demise has been grossly exaggerated. I'm not. If I was a Kansas City fan, I wouldn't be overly worried right now. Then maybe I'm whistling past the graveyard.
No, I would agree.
But I think Rice is going to. I think their offense has already looked exponentially better with Worthy back.
Yeah. When
When you get Rice there too, then Kelsey goes back to what he should be at this stage of his career and like sort of a spare part.
Yeah.
That they, I think the offense really looked good again the other night. There's 2 games in a row. They scored 28 and they threw a pick 6 on the goal line.
Yeah.
100-yard pick 6. So they probably should have had in the 30s for the second consecutive game. Mahomes made a mistake and they lost.
Were there Patriots seasons like this over the 20 years though, where they got off to I'm forgetting off the top of my head, like a 2-3 start and
they were like I think they were 1-2 in 05.
14,
14 they were 2-2. Kind of,
they're not good anymore.
But I guess that's what one of the points I was asking was like, do they get a little bored early in the season and they're just like, man, we just played in February, like we got to be right back out there. We're not ready
is it
yet.
more to who Chiefs are losing? Like, have they lost to like
A bad team?
Yeah.
No.
I mean they lost.
Whatever you think of Jacksonville.
Yeah,
but
I mean they're 4-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean they lost to the Chargers, who were playing really well before they lost their entire offensive line,
The Eagles.
and they lost to the Eagles.
Yeah, so they've had
when
good schedule.
Kelsey dropped a touchdown. Now they got to play Detroit this week. They could be 2-4.
Yeah, but if you look at DVOA, they're like one of the best 2 and 3 teams in the history of the NFL.
So
like
that tracks.
Yeah,
I'm not like I had a guy email me yesterday, one of my buddies, and he was like, this kind of reminds me of just one of those Patriots years where it ain't happening for them. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't write them off just yet.
Well, it not happening for them is them winning 11 games, right? Like,
but I think they're still going to win 11 games. They might not win 15. Obviously they're not going to win 15. They've already lost 3, idiot. But
it's okay. I thought Tyson was spelled differently.
T-I.
Yeah.
TAI dash apostrophe.
Scooter Steele in Nantucket writing in.
Is that related to Jake Steele?
That was well done,
No,
Scooter.
it gets better. Even Evan, in the Bills game, was Drake bailing out of the pocket or was it more of a design rollout? I've been paying close attention to rollouts and escaping ever since my dad, Jake, left for milk and never returned.
How do I answer that now?
Jake Steele, you get it?
I got
I think a lot of them were bailing out, right?
Yeah, I think he bailed out, and this was something we talked a little bit about on Catch 22, and I think it's the quarterbacks nowadays when they see free runners on blitzers, they're not standing in the pocket. They're not hanging out. Okay, so like a lot of people want to see him, beat the blitz with the pass and stand in the pocket, and he throws the slant right behind the blitzer and yada, yada, yada. Like, go watch Allen, go watch Mahomes, go watch Lamar, go watch Jordan Love. Like, these guys don't play like that anymore. And I'm not saying that that's right or wrong. Like, the old quarterback coaches would say, we have the slant right behind the blitz, just stand in the pocket, take the hit, and throw the slant. They might be right. That might be a cleaner way of playing quarterback. These guys like Drake that are mobile, that are athletes, they're not going to play that way. They're just not. They're going to get outside the pocket, they're going to get on the move, and they're going to make a play. And that's just the way it is nowadays. So there was a handful of times in this game where he either sensed pressure or there was legitimate pressure, and he just bailed. He got out of dodge. And yeah, he probably missed some throws, in structure as a result. But he also hit a 32-yard bomb to Stephon Diggs off platform. So It's like...
Well, that's like, what would you choose as a defense? Like, to give up the little slant that, or he extends the play, and now you're looking at some of the plays we saw him made. Like, what would you pick as a defense?
I'm going to button hook you. If I were Buffalo, I would take my chances with exactly the way the game unfolded and sit. Let's see you complete those passes again.
Yeah. Well,
because I think
he
he was exceptional in the second half of that game, and I think Stephon Diggs was every bit as exceptional.
That's why I said, like, I'm not. This isn't like old timers. Like, this isn't one of the that might be the right way to do it.
Right.
I'm just telling you that like. The elite quarterbacks in the league today, they don't do it like that. Like, they're not Brady. They're not standing there staring down the barrel and they're just going to replace the blitz with the ball. Like, that's that old adage. They don't do it like that anymore, for better or worse.
Barton Poland, shout out to Andy Borregales. The absolute cojones on that man. I know that 52 isn't maybe that impressive in today's NFL, but with his struggles and the situation of that kick, I don't think he could have kicked it more perfectly. I'm dead serious. That kick would have been good from 70. I've never seen a ball hit the net that high on a 50-plus yard field goal, and it was perfectly in the middle. And then he followed it up with an absolutely perfect kickoff.
I agree about the kickoff. Yeah. That was an underrated, game ender. There's no chance that they're scoring after that kick.
Yeah, we did that a little bit on Catch 22 because Behringer.
I can only imagine.
Had the 73-yard punt on Buffalo's final drive that put them on a long field, which was a huge field position win. And then Borregales drills the game winner and then has a really good kickoff on the ensuing kickoff. And then they actually drew a hold on the kickoff too. Mm-hmm. So that drive started at Buffalo's 18-yard line. They don't with nowadays, you return the ball to the 35-yard line. They only need a field goal to tie the game. It's 2 first downs and, a 20-yard bomb by Allen, and they're in field goal range.
Right. Like, he kicked that down to, between the 1 and the 2.
Mm-hmm.
If he's off a little bit and that goes in the end zone and they don't have any time come off the clock and they get the ball at the 35. He landed it perfectly. That was a perfect kickoff.
Yeah.
And you contrast that to the Miami one where,
You and Barth are kindred spirits.
I think that was an underrated big play in the game, his kickoff at the end. The 52-yarder, they get made at an astronomical rate in the league. These guys are just really good. I say this all the time. I just need a kicker who makes the kicks when he needs to make. He missed 2 extra points. It's not like he's missed 7 field goals. It's not like Chad Ryland's rookie year. Yeah. He missed 2 extra points one game. The kicker will be fine.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it.
Just highlight too the number of rookies that are playing, and it's not all they're not all Pro Bowlers right now, but just going from being such an old team, bad drafts, you feel encouraged just about the youth and especially the experience that the youth guys got winning up in Buffalo, to check that off. I think Vrabel said it was something his dad pointed out to me where the left side of your line is starting. You've got a starting safety who's going to play every snap. So it's exactly what this team needed. Hopefully all those guys continue to develop and become good players. And then I think you're really talking about the Patriots having some staying power.
Mike writes in.
Bye, everybody.
He calls himself Sweeney in Providence. Evan, you're going? Leaving. Okay. Off to the locker room and Mike Vrabel.
Indoor practice today, too, right?
The bubble.
As a lifelong Pats fan that was raised in Buffalo, I have the habit of listening to the popular Bills podcasts and radio shows before and after a Bills-Patriots matchup. This habit has been a depressing one for half a decade now, but Sunday night's game has shifted the dynamic. Bills media is spending a good portion of their time discussing how the Bills got a taste of their own Josh Allen medicine, courtesy of Drake May, and how the comparison of Drake to Josh looked very real. What's more is just a few weeks ago, Paul was cursing the idea of penciling in wins, but as of this week, that's exactly what the Bills Mafia is doing with the Patriots' schedule. We have one of the best teams in the league, sweating a little bit, and that is a very satisfying outcome. Love you guys. Keep it up. We got our guy. And what should we name the
Someone
Sunday
needs
night?
to tell the Bills that.
What should we name the Sunday night game? Is that Drake's game or Drake's coming out? Or-
I don't have a name.
no,
I'll get back to you on that one.
no name. It's not a game with a name.
Like, there's nothing like. Usually, the name game, something really out of the ordinary happens. You know, and aside from an upset, I mean, you don't want to just call it the upset.
Yeah, we beat the Bills. That was out of the ordinary.
Yeah, not really.
Well, it
No,
could
keep
end
my
up
shit
being
up.
the passing of the torch game.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think in
retrospect.
in 3 years, you
Yeah.
might be able to give it a name.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that happens.
The Drake and Steph coming out party.
Yeah.
Yep.
How about the penalty
I don't know.
fest?
Everyone's so
Teams
desperate.
combined for like 25 penalties. How about the penalty fest?
Fine, too. Not as... Not
The
as
Sean
picky,
Hockley
though.
game.
There's a lot of those.
We came to watch you, bro.
Everyone's got to make those comparisons to who Drake is like, but Josh Allen is such a tank. Like, I can't, that's where the comparisons end. Like, yes, they're good on the run and they can throw the ball when they're rolling out, but that's where it kind of departs for me. And, you know, in some ways, it hasn't come to fruition yet with Josh Allen, but I keep saying, I've said it to you before, Paul. It's like, it feels like a matter of time at some point before he just gets whacked and has a big injury.
Well, I say the same
I don't
about
want it to
both
happen.
of those guys.
But I feel like,
Drake took some shots the other night.
Drake definitely took some shots.
Because he does not protect himself well when he runs.
But, like, it's different in that Josh Allen is ready to take that. And I feel like Drake should develop the way, but he's more of, like, sleek. And if he can get away to slide and get out of it,
I
you know,
agree.
like,
I know
Drake is
what you're saying.
Josh has no problem with just, I'm going right through everybody. I don't care. And, you know, it hasn't come up to be a problem for him yet. But
it's
it's
like he predetermines, I'm going to be a power runner on this particular play.
Drake doesn't have that gene. He's taken some big hits.
I don't think
but
Drake runs with the power, but I do think
Yeah.
the comparisons are, to me, they're pretty evident. I mean, I think they play in a very similar style. They both have excellent arms. I think Allen is bigger and definitely stronger. But I mean, I understand why coming out of North Carolina, people made those comparisons.
Absolutely.
I think there's a lot of similarities to the way they want to play.
I guess just my hope is that Drake can continue to learn not to take contact, but still be effective with his legs and keep moments, get down, protect yourself, but pick up first downs and, you know, avoid the big hits. Like, I mean, he got smoked on that.
There was one
like,
run that he really got hit
was like
hard
in the
on.
air, and the guy kind of hit him midair. And
I mean, it wasn't James Cook when he was already down contact, but it was good. It was big contact.
Those are my favorite hits of all time.
I'm telling you, that was
it made me laugh
unbelievable.
so hard, like just how aggressive it was. And James Cook was like, "Here you go, ref." Boom! Whoa!
What happened was, I thought he was giving the ball to Josh Allen.
Yeah, right. It's a flea flicker. Kill him.
A lot of emails coming in, calls. We'll get to them in a second. Jeff in Canada, my son is a senior in high school and only listens when I have it on the car, your show. However, he loves the Mike Dussault song, the one that uses the Dak Prescott, Here We Go. I often hear him singing it around the house. Last night, he asked me what episode it was, and I couldn't find it. If possible, can you play it or put it up as a short on YouTube so he can screen grab it?
Oh.
Also, remind me the name of the lady in New Hampshire who created this music. I want her to get her props for creating a song even Gen Z likes.
Yeah, that's chill. I know. We've had a couple kids.
Do we have that? Here we go. Drake May. Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Do we have that song?
Or
No?
we can play when I get back from the locker room if you want.
Yeah, look for it.
And I'm
Okay.
Casey Kasem.
Just look under. Just under Ode to Deuce, I
There
think
you
is
go.
what it's called. Maybe we should make a
Okay,
music video
here
to
we
it.
go.
We
Mike Dussault. Shout out.
All right. 855-PATS-500. We're waiting for Mike Vrabel. He should be coming up any minute now, but let's quickly go to Randy in Providence. What's up, Randy?
Hey, good afternoon, guys.
Hey.
So a couple quick things. Number one, I think Diggs' game, like everybody's talking about the receptions, the targets, the yards, but man, he was the consummate teammate. It felt like even when the defense was coming off the field, he was there up in their face telling them great job, stuff like that. And I thought that kind of got a little bit glossed over because of all the great numbers that he put up, and it's
there was a lot of talk about him being a locker room problem prior to him being signed, and I think he was just the complete opposite there. And given his history in Buffalo, I just hope that continues and it wasn't a specific Buffalo thing. And then on the running backs, I tuned in a little bit late. You guys might have covered this. Do you think there's a running back on the market that they'd be looking at? Because there are a couple teams with good running backs that don't have a good outlook, namely, Derrick Henry's got to be the obvious one, right? And then Alvin Kamara also.
Yeah, I mean, we did talk about that a little bit yesterday. Thanks, Randy.
Yeah,
Do people really think the Ravens are going to unplug the season? Like they're not even going to show up for the rest of the schedule?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're still the odds-on favorite to win the AFC North. You know that?
Yeah. Paul thinks it's too early. What the deadline is? What, 2 weeks?
No, I'm not interested in Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I'm trying to figure out why Baltimore is going to say, well, we 3 weeks ago we thought we were a Super Bowl team. It hasn't worked out because we had a couple injuries. So we might as well just pack it in and trade everybody.
Yeah, right.
I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Take Kyle Hamilton.
Now, maybe 3 weeks from now, if they lose 3 more in a row and they're 1-7,
that's what I'm asking.
That's
Right.
different.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's the model. I mean, you want an early down guy, but I mean, Zach
hasn't been
Moss,
overly effective on
Ezekiel
early
Elliott,
downs.
He's been fumbling. If you like Ramondre Stevens is fumbling,
You'll love Derrick Henry.
it's that's what we talked about. Is Terrell Jennings going to get a chance? There's part of me that thinks that that's the kind of program Vrabel wants. That if you're on the practice squad and somebody gets hurt on the roster, you've been working here. Maybe I'm wrong, but I see that as all right. This is going to be the next.
But do you
guy.
think if we see a continuation of the effectiveness of Diggs and Booty and the receivers get more into the game, will it help the running game? I mean, not that I think we're averaging like over 4 yards a carry right now. No, we're not.
I don't think so.
Not sure exactly what that is, but they're bad. I mean, they're the worst rushing team in EPA.
Yeah. But do you think
No,
it could help?
they're not average. They're 3.7.
3.7.
Yeah.
But could it get better if the passing game continues to be that threat that teams have to be like, uh-oh.
Yeah, well, that's why I see it as the most critical component for the offense to develop here in the coming weeks.
And it would be worse than that if it weren't for May. May averages over 4
Some
yards.
big runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I think Paul brought up JaMychal Hasty, who's been around.
Well,
a
I
little
just
bit.
thought because he was
Practice
here.
squad, he's been here. I mean,
but there's some veterans.
but he's a third down kind of guy too.
No Sox brings up Gus Edwards. The Gus Bus. Like just a proven NFL type.
Zach Moss.
I think would make sense. Mike has mentioned Zach Moss. I think some of those kinds. I don't want to invest anything and get Derrick Henry. I mean, obviously Derrick Henry is a far superior player to any of the guys that we're talking about, but that costs you something to get him, something to pay him. Like what?
Like Steven Jackson.
Well, I don't care about
like the ghost of Steven Jackson, like the quotes of Steven Jackson game. He has some big runs for touchdowns. Even this year, Henry.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been overly effective on a down-to-down basis. And there's some statistical breakdowns, I think, that would open your eyes for how much Baltimore has struggled with him. Not just the fumbles.
Danny in Daytona. What's up, Danny?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, Donnie. Oh, Donnie.
Hey.
Well, now we can't
so
hear.
I just have a take. I liked how the team played. They did. The only issue I would have is how the defense had too many penalties. There was a lot of bonehead plays that they had made, and I wasn't too crazy about that. I want to get your take, Paul, on that. And then the other take. Do you guys like how they're doing on the offense? They're kind of mixing in the different plays, the different passing concepts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the way Drake May and Stephon Diggs played the other night. I didn't really see much.
I think Josh McDaniels
else.
is doing a good job. I do.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Danny. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, penalties were,
So, the penalties
Not
on
great.
defense, the 3 15-yard penalties, you can't have that.
No.
I mean, maybe you can excuse one, but not 3.
Yeah.
That's too much.
Jacob in Nashville. I feel like a very under-talked about result from the win this weekend is that we are finally out of the hell that was Patriot fan fracture.
Oh.
Gone are the days of fans rooting for Joe Milton, Malik Cunningham, and Bailey Zappi. Evan had talked about Drake May's elite arm talent that was different than the power of Milton's elite arm strength. Can you all talk a little bit about the different throws he saw from Drake's touch, power, in accuracy.
Whew.
Well, Evan's
I
not
don't
here
even-
right now, but
Have your pick.
But more.
arm angles.
I mean, we've
and-
been talking about it. Like that was the game.
Yeah.
The game was Drake May's ability to make throws off platform.
Yeah.
As he's running to the sideline, as he's falling out of bounds, as he's being dragged down by a defender, little dump offs while getting hit, slight moves in the pocket on the ball to Booty on the last drive. It was the total package. Drake May. I don't really know if there was really too much in terms of the Joe Milton stuff. Like the Malik Cunningham, that was Mac Jones. Like since May's been here, I don't know if there's been much of a fracture among Patriots fans about who should be the quarterback.
Just a reminder, we're waiting for the Vrabel 12:55 press conference, which has become our Wednesday tradition. And football fans know that traditions matter. Turning moments together into something truly epic, they're what inspire us to make our masa and Tostitos the traditional way, starting with whole corn kernels, no artificial flavors, colors, or preservatives, all to give you that perfect crunch. Discover your next tradition this football season. Head to the store, grab your Tostitos team bag, and scan the code for a chance to score on epic experience with the Patriots. Tostitos, tradition matters. So Mike's running a little bit late, it looks like, huh?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mentioned Kool-Aid McKinstry. He won Defensive Player of the Week for last week.
2 picks, right?
2 picks at the end. And yeah, he's a physical guy. I mean, that's somebody that, I don't think they're really a man match kind of team where he's going to follow anybody, but I think he's a good young player for them, and he'll probably see plenty of Stephon Diggs, I would guess.
Matthew thinks the game should have been called Snow Melts in May.
May.
I know they were wearing their rivalries, but that won't. It's hard to remember that 5 years from now. That they were wearing those white uniforms.
No,
if it was snowing that day, that'd have been different.
Like Drake and Steph do Buffalo. That was it. Those two guys going nuts.
And Oliver in London thinks it should be called the Drake Diggs one out of nowhere. It doesn't really catch. It doesn't have the ring of Harper's Muff.
No, or the wind game.
Yeah.
The Snow Bowl. I don't know.
Yeah.
Corpse of Steven Jackson game.
Right.
I'm going to be smarter than everybody else and kick off an overtime game.
Marvin writes in. Marvin's a good friend. He makes great cornhole.
Oh, yeah.
Custom cornhole.
Really?
He's unbelievable. Yeah. He says, my daughter Meredith is an only child, so the Turner name lineage would die out when I pass away. So Meredith decided to name her first son, my first grandson, with Turner as his first name. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
That's great. That has meaning.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how great that made me feel when she told me that's what they're going to do. And Paul, did you catch the Emmy tribute to Earth, Wind, and Fire? It was awesome.
Of course I did. Thanks for asking. Appreciate you.
An alert for that, or?
No, I did. I watched a little of it. They're just tremendous.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you cannot be in a good mood listening to those songs.
Totally. What song came on when we were over at Red Robin last week? I know your genre. There's something came on. I forget what it was.
Was it a Taylor Dane?
It was a remix.
I think it was a Taylor Dane song.
Yeah.
But the next day, Andre Tippett walked through our office and he was singing an Earth, Wind, and Fire song. Did you watch last night? He goes, oh, yeah. He goes, I saw it. He goes, did I? And then, of course, he tells me the story. He goes, did I tell you about the time I was in a foursome with Philip Bailey? I'm like, okay, Tip, you're cool. I'm not. I get it.
Kelly says, my son's name is Booker. What do you think, Fred? His middle name is Bear after his grandfather, so his name is Booker Bear.
Ooh.
I would have preferred you name his first name Bear after his grandfather.
So
and then you can have his middle name Booker.
I went the middle name, too, but Will's named after both of his grandfathers, William Alphonse.
Yeah.
When I told my father that, he goes, don't do that to him. He goes, he doesn't need that. I go, it's just a middle name, Dad. Jeez.
Well, my
I like Alphonse. That's a good name.
I always kind of liked it too. It was different. I mean, I had my parents were Alphonse and Virginia, two names that were a little different.
Old country.
Now, definitely older.
Yeah.
Well,
my grandfather, the Ted Williams one, was Clarence, and everyone knew him as Ding. But my dad put Clarence in the mix briefly, and my mom was like, "No Clarence, no Clarence." Can you imagine?
No
me as
Clarence.
Can you imagine me as Clarence?
Clarence Dussault.
Weird one. Nobody's named Clarence anymore, right?
My great aunt, her first name was...
It's time for Clarence Dussault.
My great aunt's first name was Auxilia.
Oh.
And her husband last name was Salvatore, so it's Auxilia Salvatore.
Oh.
I thought that's a good name.
Yeah.
That's a good, solid name.
Well, Clarence's dad was Fred. It was Fred Dussault.
Fred Dussault.
My great grandfather was a Fred Dussault.
Of course you have someone named Fred. Here's Vrabel.
Hi, Karen.
How do you feel since he's taken over, Zach has kind of progressed in his play calling duties?
I think everybody over there has done a really good job as far as just organizationally, the communication to put the plan together, the efficiency to put a plan together, and the practice preparation and everything else. And I think he's, again, there's no perfect call. I've said this millions of times, and as long as our personnel is in the game and the call gets in there, and it's decisive and one that the players understand, then it's a good call, and we'll have good execution. And sometimes we won't have such great execution, but I do think that we haven't had any trouble with those. We haven't been, pressed. We've been in 2-minute situations. We've been in, third down. We've stayed in personnel groups. We've changed personnel groups. So, I think Zach's, doing a good job, and we'll need to do a great job this week for what they do offensively.
Mike, you've talked to us about your input here and there on offense. What's your level of involvement with the defensive game planning?
I think it stays the same. I'm trying to be in a lot of different places and try to help where I can. I enjoy being defensively, and certainly help offensively when I can. So special teams wise, I think I try to help where I can.
You talked about working guys harder after a win, being able to do that in the past. How do you handle an emotional game like that as far as getting them back mentally ready?
You practice, and you go through meetings. You focus on new opponent. We don't really know this opponent, I would say. This is new for a lot of players here and maybe some coaches here as far as their personnel and what they do and their skill players offensively, and Olave and Shaheed, and how good Kamara is, and Miller coming on and running as hard as he did. They got all their tight ends are available and up ready to go, so we'll have to understand the difference between Jennings and when Taysom's in the game, or Moreau, and right on down the line. Defensively, so it's a big physical front. I've always appreciated the way Demario Davis plays the game, and corners are active, big, long, play the football at 24 PBUs on a season as a defense, so they're creating turnovers, and that was the difference in last week's game.
Mike, what are some of the traits that Terrell Jennings has helped him stick around?
I think he's a great teammate. I think he cares about the team. He's able to play on special teams. He's able to play on fourth down. I think he's got a toughness to him, and I think he's improved.
Mike, when you put yourself in the shoes of the players, can it be a challenge to show the same energy and resolve the week after having such a big week and a big emotional win on Sunday night? Can it be tough to match that the coming week,
We have a job to do. It's the same every week. We try to think that if we are consistent each and every week, and I think it allows us to, get past some of those things. We're disappointed after we lost, disappointed after, happy when we won, disappointed when we lost. And, I think we've responded, and, we'll have to, make sure that we're doing everything that we possibly can to prepare to go on and handle another tough environment. Just, being able to handle the road environment and the crowd noise and everything else. I'm sure they'll be excited. They played really well last week, and I'm sure they'll have the same great support that they always have in the Dome.
Mike, I know you guys added a running back to the practice squad yesterday, but is that a position you would continue to look to add to with Gibson's injury?
We're continuing. I think they'll probably, hopefully, look everywhere where if there's somebody that we feel like can help us, whether that's at running back or any other position. But right now, nothing new to add.
What is Craig Woodson leads the team in defensive snaps? I know a lot goes into it week to week over the course of the season, but what are some things that he's done to earn your trust playing back there?
Well, I think he, good communicator. He's good in open field. He's been able to handle a lot of volume, take care of his body. Hasn't been perfect, but feel like he's just, there's some snaps I'm sure he'd like to have back, but there's been it hasn't been too big for him, and he stayed healthy. So that's the biggest thing.
Mike, what are some of the things that you've seen Spencer Rattler do that have made him?
Ball comes out really quick. I think that he's decisive with the football, and I think he also is really good when he runs it. They designed some plays for him to run. He's been good in that regard, and then there's been some play extensions where he's been able to get out of there pretty quickly, and so I think the decisiveness is continuing to show up and improve. And they played well in Buffalo and had it was a one-score game in the fourth quarter. They roughed the punter, and that was pretty much the end of it. And then obviously they got down last week. And I think it's an impressive job on their parts and Kellen's job, and be down 14-3 and come storming back and hit a big play and then create some turnovers.
Alvin Kamara, specifically looking back on this last game, how was the defense able to stop James Cook? And
You're not getting the message yourself.
The louder?
No, we're just worried about Alvin Kamara and Miller.
Well, I'm saying, how can you build
We'll have to do it over again, and we'll have to work through the week to build a wall, to set an edge, and to swarm and tackle and be able to fit the runs up that they'll probably have in a scheme and everything else. But what you did one week certainly doesn't guarantee what you're going to do the next week, positively or negatively. So they do a good job. They're on the ball. They have runs out of tempo. They have shots out of tempo. They're under center. They're in the gun and the pistol. So there's a lot to be able to get ready for formationally. So things that we'll have to be ready for.
It seems like a few of the defensive touchdowns allowed involve motion. I'm wondering, has there been any kind of theme in those, and what do you have to do basically to get better?
Just communicate and understand that those are all scheme plays, and that that's what we're going to get. And we have to do a better job in the red zone of communicating and anticipating what that is. I don't think they're just going to line up and run a play. There's going to be something involved that grabs your eyes, that grabs your attention. Misdirection. I don't know what the plays are. I can just try to explain what the concepts are going to be. They're going to change them a little bit each week, but when you look around, that's kind of what it is.
With 5 weeks down now, what do you like about the captains on this team in terms of them setting the standard and the communication between coaches and the rest of the team?
Yeah, I think they do a good job of relaying the message that we try to create each week. I think they do a good job of bringing some things that maybe some other players or some younger players may have throughout the week to me. And my job is to listen. My job is to try to make a decision that's best for the team, but to try to listen to them. Not that I'm always going to do everything that they ask, but I do appreciate them coming and sharing some of those thoughts from the rest of the team.
Like when it's only been a 5-game sample with a new head coach, do you get a sense at all holistically, like how Kellen and his staff want to play games and win?
Yeah, I think that they want to run the football. I think they do. I think they want to use tempo on their terms, which they've done a great job of. I think they want to make you prepare for a lot, and I think they've got a lot of speed on the edges that they're trying to create, but also understand with a young quarterback that they want to be able to try to get it out of his hand just from a numbers wise and not sit there and hold it. So they've been successful with that. Try to keep it in third and manageable.
Like the running game at this point is toward the bottom of the league, 27th ranked. I'm wondering how you can improve on that. Obviously, the passing game has been much stronger.
Just keep working at it. I'm with you. We understand that, and it's got to be better. It has to be better at the line of scrimmage, at the second level, and then continue to try to finish to break some of these. And we've had some good runs. It's just not enough of them, not enough, double-digit runs, that help your average. So again, I think that, we got to stop talking about being one guy away or one block away. I think that was a big theme from last week, and that'll have to fix.
Mike, when you think
You said that you've learned that penalties are not a strong indicator of wins.
Mm-hmm.
How did that information change your approach to coaching that area?
Well, it's not that that we don't care about penalties, right? We want to make great decisions, and but I also understand that team fouls are ones that happen before the snap. Like we have to be better on, and Hunter communicating with the official, and thinking that we got, hoping we got that cleaned up. We don't want to line up offsides. We don't want to extend drives, competition fouls, and we ask them to play full tilt to the tackle. But then there's a line there, and we have to play by two things: the whistle, right? I just don't understand how a professional athlete could assume that anybody in this league was down, and we're going to play to the whistle, and we're going to play to 2 feet in the white, and we have to pass rush and not hit the quarterback in the head, can't hit him in the knees, and then when another player has 2 feet in the white, we can't hit him or give the appearance, that we're hitting him. And I think Schooler ran over there and stood there, and the same guy got tackled by Marcus, and the officials saw that, and so again, you just have to understand kind of what they're looking at. But we have to play aggressive. I think that there has to be an aggressiveness to the way that we play, but also that comes into the decision making and when to make a great decision. And it's hard for me to sit here and fault Josh, from last week, and there's no whistle and running back's acting like he's going to flip the ball back to the quarterback. And I mean, certainly would have liked to not had a penalty called, but I can see it both ways. Just ask that they, blow the whistle. And it's the easy way for us to say that the play's over and that our efforts need to stop. And but I don't know how else to coach it. I don't know how else to coach professional players on defense in this league with the type of athletes that you're going against. It's hard to bring them down with one guy. They keep running, they bounce in. Next thing you know. So again, we'll keep coaching it. And it's not that it's not important. It's important. But it's also there's something behind it. I'll tell you, every X-play run, and we ought to have Taylor track this. Every X-play run in this league, there's probably a hold. You know what I mean? Like just that they don't call, that they don't miss. Whatever they don't see or they don't feel like they should call it. It's kind of what happens. And so you want to be aggressive, certainly just not reckless.
Mike,
last question, guys.
You have said the players need to earn their role. For the players who are currently on the show team or scout team, what do they need to do to earn a role to be with the regulars on Sundays?
Well, I think it's twofold. I think it's one, based on who's in front of them and the health of that player. Two, prepare as a starter each and every week, continue to improve and get recognized, and three, take advantage of their opportunities when it comes. And so, we have a lot of guys that are getting better and improving in that area, and that's valuable. It's valuable for us to be able to rep against them, and also valuable, very valuable for them to improve and get those practice reps. So hopefully when we need them or they earn the opportunity, they'll be ready. Thank you.
Whether you're in the game or betting on the game, you'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. Hope is here, 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 plus. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Physically present in Massachusetts. See DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
With FedEx One Rate, you can ship to your student for a simple, predictable flat rate. Send a box full of home-baked treats that say, "Your father and I miss you." Or send a box full of instant noodles that says, "Your father and I would like you to stop asking us for money." Either way, one rate fits all. FedEx One Rate. 2-day shipping, one flat rate. Starting at $14.50. Visit FedEx.com/OneRate for details. Exclusions apply.
If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right.
DraftKings is all about responsible gaming. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction.
Here we go.
This one's for Mike Dussault.
Yeah, here we go.
This one's for Mike Dussault. He made his name in blogging, and he's a youth hockey referee. And don't you ever forget those 28-3 tees. He's last in the picks, and he's sneaky negative. But he knows his hoodies and he knows them good. Did you know that he used to live in Hollywood? Okay,
here we go.
This one's for Mike Dussault.
Yeah, here we go.
This one's for Mike Dussault.
Okay, here we go.
He's sneaky negative.
Okay, here we go.
This one's for Mike Dussault.
It's great stuff.
That is great. That's the Mike
Great
Dussault song. So you can clip
That's
that
Jill,
out.
right? Jill in New Hampshire?
Jill in New Hampshire. Really good stuff. Love it. Great work. And speaking of work, Brunt Workwear makes work boots and apparel that are built for the job site. And they're an official sponsor of the New England Patriots and the Gillette Stadium Field Crew. Their gear is comfortable, durable, and named after the real workers in the trades that helped design it. You can even try Brunt out on the job. And if it doesn't blow you away, they let you send it back. Save $10 on your first order at bruntworkwear.com/Pats or with coupon code PATS. So Mike is out in the locker room right now.
Yeah.
We just heard Mike
Hopefully
Vrabel.
we'll get him back.
Not a lot of headline news, but I thought it was very interesting that he stood up for Farmer, saying that the whistle
Stood up
had
for
not
everybody, but especially that one.
Yeah, the whistle had not blown, and his point is, how in the NFL do you know the play's dead unless the whistle blows? So he goes, that's the way we coach it. You play to the whistle. So
So if I'm going to take that, so I understand, me more than anyone understands
bitching about the refs,
frustration specifically toward the refs, right?
Yep.
It's what I do.
Yep.
But if you're going to take that like super literally, what he said, I wouldn't expect the penalties to stop.
Right.
Because if he's thinking that that's okay, like I think I said yesterday, there's an argument to be made that was unnecessary roughness, even if the whistle hadn't blown. Even if he was like
because all
a
you need to do
millimeter,
is tap his helmet.
right? I mean, you clearly see he's down and tied up with somebody else. You don't have to come in and light him up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can
Right.
come in and just sort of like fall on the pile if you think he's still up and the whistle hasn't blown.
Yeah.
He came in and buried him.
But Vrabel,
if that's okay, if that's how you're coaching it, again, I'm taking it super literally.
Yeah.
And I know he's not coaching it this way, but if he were coaching it that way, like, okay, that's a good play, don't expect the penalties to stop.
Yeah. But I think the other message is to the ref, like, don't forget to blow the whistle.
Yeah, obviously I don't have the code. I mean, I'm going to assume he's right about that.
Yeah.
I can't hear that.
A lot of people said that, but I don't hear the whistle on every play.
No, you almost never hear the whistle.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're there. I mean, maybe if you're there, you can hear the whistle, but.
Yeah. So, but I thought that was interesting. That's really the only takeaway I had. Everything was pretty vanilla.
Yeah, I mean, I think he sort of recognizes the running back situation, but he's being more Belichick-like there, more generic. Yeah, we're always looking to upgrade our team and
sure
looking for ways to improve.
Yep.
He was asked the question that we sort of been talking about, our theme kind of the day, turning the page to the next game. And, is that a challenge? And, it's like we do that every week, know what? So a lot of Belichick kind of mentality there, but just regular Mike, I thought.
Okay. 855-PATS-500 is the hotline, podcast at patriots.com. We got the phone stacked up, so let's start unstacking. Eldred's in North Carolina. What's up, Eldred? Eldred. Oh,
wow.
Eldred's gone. Usually he sticks around.
I wonder if he
might have got pulled over.
Yeah, he had to move.
Hope everything's all right. Sean's in Vancouver. What's up, Sean? Sean.
Uh-oh.
I think Mike might have scared people away. He's gone.
Might be time to back away if Boston Cream's not here.
Lines are opening up. Boston Cream. What's up, Boston Cream?
I would never disappoint, boys.
There you go.
The Patriots are back. The AFC is sweating. This felt like kind of the best win since Super Bowl 53. And honestly, it felt a little bit better because I think we all kind of had the same thought that we don't know if we have a quarterback. We don't know. Everything's uncertain, right? So that confirmation was super nice. We might have a little Manning-Brady interdivisional, which might be nice. But a couple things. Vanilla Vic, a.k.a. Drake May, slicing and dicing the defense. How can you not feel bad? And the Venezuelan Vinatieri, we got one, boys. We got a kicker.
Okay.
You worked on your material.
There we go.
I'll give it to you.
Good Boston Cream.
Some creativity there.
Who's winning the picks?
I'd have to look.
Okay. Well, it is your thing, right?
It's my thing, yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. Andrew writes in. He says, yesterday's episode was the best one you had in years because Chris with a TIAN called in and Christian in L.A. did not.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now that we're well into the season, is there going to be a way for those of us who don't listen live to win a T-shirt? If there is one, would it be possible to have Fred personally put a small mustard stain on one? I'm an airline pilot, and much like the Catholic Church used to send sacred relics on tour, I would probably proudly display Father Fred's holy mustard stain around the continental U.S. with occasional stops in Canada, Mexico, and Hawaii. Keep up the great work. And P.S. Deuce regularly makes me laugh out loud with his subtle comments that nobody else even notices.
Generally, I notice them.
Yeah.
And I usually say something to him afterward because usually those are for me.
Yep.
We have kind of like, when you do a lot of pre and post game shows together, Fred, you kind of get a feel for each other. Yeah.
Well,
Mike is very subtle with those.
Well, Andrew, if you promise to wear a T-shirt all over the world, we can certainly arrange for that. So, Alex, why don't you keep that email from Andrew, and we'll see what we can do for him. So, lots of emails. Josh says,
read some of them.
How to beat New Orleans. He calls himself Wisco Glenn.
Okay.
I don't know why he called him Josh. The Saints are not good against the run. The Giants opened good holes for Scatterbo last week. Paul's right. The Gents gave the ball away a lot, and they could have dominated possession time. Giants have good weapons, but seem to stall in the red zone because they can't run with power or play in a compacted field. What if we play 5 to 6 DBs in this game, make Rattler win with his arm? Okay.
Wait a minute. If you want to make Rattler beat you, wouldn't you play base defense and take away the run?
Right. Dare him to throw.
Right. Put it in his hands.
If you do 5 to 6 DBs all the time,
they're going to try to just run Kendra Miller at you and Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
Now, I think the Patriots have been really good in run defense. Maybe they feel comfortable stopping it with, less than their base package in terms of personnel. But just if you're trying to put the game in the quarterback's hands, you want to dare him to throw. You put big bodies out there and stop the run.
Yep. Let's see. Jordan wants to call the game in Buffalo in honor of Stefan's huge performance. What about the Ghost of Stefan game? Stefan comes back to haunt them. Yeah, if you have to explain it, it doesn't work. Yeah. So I'm sorry.
So I think they just have to be.
It has to just
really quick.
Yeah.
Really,
yeah. Like,
and I think there has to be something like Harper's muff game. Like it's an obscure player who had one very specific gaffe in the game that turned the game.
Yep.
You know, this was just this was a regular football. I think that's probably the best part of the Patriots win, is that there's nothing like that you point to. There's not a weird,
right,
fluky kind of asterisk that you're looking to attach to the game. It was just two good teams playing against each other, and the Patriots made the plays at the end of the game to win it.
Yep. Matt in Wichita, can we make a storyline out of nothing by noticing that Vrabel seemed to give a little extra love to Demario Davis? The report out of New Orleans is that they are interested in trading vets. He meets the definition, and linebackers seem to be a position of need.
Yeah, now that's a team, I know someone, about the running backs, and they mentioned Kamara. Like, New Orleans is a team that I could absolutely see being in that market. Come Halloween, the trade deadline's usually, I think it's between week 8 and 9, somewhere in that, maybe November 1st area. That one, Demario Davis, he's a good player. Been a good player for a long time. Absolutely. I'd be interested in, as Mike says, I'd be interested in upgrading the team in any way that I feel we could.
Okay. Josh is on the line. He's from Missouri. Hey, Josh.
Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey.
I just wanted to say, man, how does it feel to have a number one receiver again? I know we haven't had a receiver with back-to-back 100-yard games since Julian Edelman, so that felt pretty good. And I wanted to see how you guys felt about the Patriots being above that red line right now. We're in the playoffs right now, and that feels great.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, your first point, and thanks for the call, Josh, the luxury of having that wide receiver one, it is a good thing. It's a relief to know that, okay, if nothing else, you've got this playmaker in your wide receiver room that, hopefully you can count on every game. It's a
huge.
Not every team has it. I mean, there are a lot of good wide receivers in the league. But I would say maybe little over half the teams have one.
Top flight receivers?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have to go back and look, but yeah, I mean, there are good wide receivers in that league.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of everybody has one.
You think so?
I mean,
we haven't. That's for sure.
I mean, I'm not necessarily saying every single team, but yeah. I mean, you have a guy that you would say, oh, he's our number one.
Yep. So
with very few exceptions, I would think. But I think he's been really good. I think he's been better than, like this past week, certainly better than I was expecting. I didn't think there was that kind of yards after the catch and that kind of explosiveness with the ball in his hands. He made a lot of guys miss in that game. I wasn't expecting those kinds of plays. In terms of the volume, I did expect that. I thought he would catch, somewhere between, 5 and 8 passes a game, be around 1,000 yards at the end of the year, average under 10 yards a catch. This past game, it was a lot better than that. 140 yards and, play after play, 14 plus yards a catch. I don't know if you can rely on that every week. That's not really realistic, but for one game when you needed him, he absolutely delivered.
All right. Curtis in St. Louis wants to earn a T-shirt, so he has a trivia game. He says, for the mammoth of memory, Mr. Paul Perillo. Let's see if you can get 4 out of 6 correct, he says. In 1996, Drew Bledsoe led the Patriots to an 11-5 season and their second Super Bowl appearance. Who did the Patriots beat in the AFC Championship game, and what was the final score? Well, that's easy.
Jacksonville, 20-6.
You got it.
Yeah.
Tom Brady threw a combined 614 regular and postseason touchdown passes during his 20 seasons with the New England Patriots. Can you name the players who caught his very first and very last touchdown pass?
No. I can tell you Terry Glenn was the first.
Yep.
I could not tell you the last, but his last touchdown pass as a pro or with the Patriots? I'm trying to figure out. I'm going to guess somebody
with the Patriots.
I'm going to guess Edelman.
That's correct.
Oh, that was a guess.
Glenn
Total
in
guess.
01 against the Chargers, Edelman in 19 against the Dolphins.
I can still see Terry Glenn laid
2 for
out
2.
horizontally.
What offensive lineman holds the record for the most starts in a game with the New England Patriots?
Bruce Armstrong.
That's right. He started 212 games. That's 3 out of 3. In 2016, Tom Brady faced a 4-game suspension to start the season. When Brady came back, he led the Patriots to a 14-2 season and their 5th Super Bowl title. Who was the first team Brady and the Patriots played coming off that suspension, and what was the final score?
I can tell you it's Cleveland, but I can't
Cleveland's
tell you,
correct.
Can't tell you the final score.
A lot of threes in the score.
33-3?
Oh, 33-13.
Oh, okay.
So I'll give you 3.5.
All right.
In the infamous 28-3 Super Bowl 51 comeback, Tom Brady led the Patriots on a 75-yard, 13-play drive that ended in their first touchdown in the third quarter, which would start the Patriots' comeback. Who was the player to catch that touchdown pass?
James White.
That's right. 5-yard pass. 4.5. Tom Brady played a franchise record 20 seasons with the New England Patriots. There are 3 players tied for second most with 16 seasons. Can you name those 3 players?
3 players that played 16 seasons for the Patriots.
Yep.
Steve Grogan.
That's 1.
Julius Adams.
2.
Stanley Morgan.
Ooh, Matthew Slater.
Oh, I should have gotten Slater.
Yeah.
But that's typical of me. Forget the guy who just played and remember the guys that played 50 years ago.
But you wanted 4 out of 6. You got 4.5, so too bad. No T-shirt, Curtis.
I think I should get 2/3 for the last one. I got 2 out of the 3
That's
guys.
true. So closer to 5 than 4. So sorry, Curtis, you don't get a T-shirt.
You're not going to give him a T-shirt?
I don't know.
Give him a T-shirt.
It's up to Alex and Matt. If they want to give him a T-shirt, they can give him a T-shirt.
Good job, Alex.
Pending availability.
We'll get Morrell on it.
He's back on the phone and in his truck. It's Eldred in North Carolina. What's up, Eldred?
Hey, fellas, how y'all doing?
All right.
Yeah, sorry, I hit the button instead of hitting the other thing on my headset, so I couldn't hardly talk. Hey, the name of the game should be Diggs Revenge, because that's what he had.
Diggs revenge game. That would work. You know, short, sweet. Everybody knows exactly what you're talking about. That would have some,
Exactly.
that would have potential.
Yeah, you think so? Okay. They talking about halfback. They signed somebody to the practice squad. Do y'all know anything about this Corbin, whatever guy? I think it's Corbin or what? Corbin.
Yeah, Jay.
Oh, the new running back on the
Jay Sean Corbin, something
on
like
the
that.
practice squad.
He's got a little experience. He's been in the league. Not really anything extensive though. But I think he's been with 3 different teams. I think he played like 6 games for the Giants or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Just wondered.
Yep.
But I hope, like I said, I hope we get AJ Brown, because like I said, everybody keeps talking about it, but he won't out. But I guess y'all haven't heard that yet, though, right? Especially during the national.
Yeah, no. I mean, we've heard about AJ Brown tweeting and whatnot after games. I just don't see the Eagles trading him. Like the Eagles are a Super Bowl contender. I don't see them.
Yeah,
I don't see them trading him.
He's not getting used right. He's not getting used right.
Well, he gets used plenty.
I'm running, but like that game, they should have won that game Sunday. Hurts just overthrew him twice. He was wide open both times.
Yeah, he was downfield, down that middle one.
Yeah, downfield. Yeah, and that would have won the game for him.
Yep.
But, all right, my people.
All right, thanks, Eldred. Right. Yeah, I meant to ask Eldred where his name came from. That's a good name, Eldred. You know?
Yeah.
Like you don't hear a lot of people with the name Eldred. But when you grow up, an adult, like that's a proper name to be called, Eldred.
It's a very southern name, Eldred.
Very southern name, yep.
Well, he's a southern dude.
Yep. Ivan's in California. What's up, Ivan?
Hey, gentlemen. How you doing today?
Good.
Good. Quick football thing, but before I do that, I do want to give you some flowers. I wanted to, as a Pats fan and a little bit more than a casual one, I like to geek out on all the different behind the scenes and what you guys do as far as the interviews, the coaches, the kind of the fun questions you ask the players, get to see their personalities. think you guys do really a great job, so I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you on that.
I'll pass it along.
And absolutely. And then as far as the football thing, Diggs, for me, from where I stand, like the way Diggs is right now, a healthy Diggs, which is honestly a modern miracle, he's the number one. So for me, I think we're still another draft away in a free agent class of really building the team the way we want it to. So I want to hold on to the assets unless, somebody blows us away. I think we're just fine with, everybody's talking about A.J. Brown. I just think what it's going to cost to get him, we would be best served to hold on to it. So I will, with that said, I will get offline and go pass.
All right. Thanks, Ivan. Appreciate it. He's saying stay pat.
Yeah, I would. I mean, if you could get A.J. Brown, I think you have the makings of a very dangerous offense. But I mean, I'm not saying I would do whatever it takes to get A.J. Brown. I mean, it would be a little bit. It would cause me to hesitate a little bit, based on the fact that this is a guy who was in the midst of a Super Bowl run last year and was unhappy at times, and certainly is on the reigning Super Bowl champ, who's poised to make another run and seemingly unhappy again. That would cause me to hesitate a little bit.
Yep.
How would you feel about it, Freddie?
I would agree. I would hesitate.
Yeah. Now, I would do it. I think he's young enough that, I wouldn't worry like, well, I'm just going to get him at the end of his career and he's going to be, he could fall off. I think he's still in his prime. I mean, I don't think it would cost that much.
Yeah.
I don't think it would cost you a first. I think you could probably get him for a second.
But,
who knows?
To Ivan's point, they're a free agent class and a draft class away. They really need to, there's still pieces that they need to build here. And is that like,
but
if you
that's
have
one
to,
of the pieces that they need to build with.
Well,
that's what
true.
I'm saying.
That's
he
true.
would be a piece.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a 34-year-old receiver.
That's
you're
true.
getting.
So you have to sign him.
He's signed.
Yeah.
He's under contract. He's not unhappy with his contract. He's unhappy with his role.
Okay.
He wants the ball.
So second round's worth it?
I mean, for me, maybe you couldn't get him for a second rounder. He went for a first. I mean, he went for firsts like with when he went from Tennessee to Philadelphia.
Right.
So, I mean, I think he's a little older now.
But,
so maybe
like
it
cars
wouldn't cost
get a
you
little
that
older,
much.
they're
Yeah.
not worth as much.
Exactly.
Just a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep. Austin in Oklahoma writes in, I know there's been talk of Drake getting the MVP if he keeps playing like he's been, but I think an even more likely scenario is Vrabel getting his second Coach of the Year award. Do you think we might actually have both the MVP and the Coach of the Year? I mean, it's possible.
So, do you think
the Colts coach might be in the running too?
There's a million options. What do you think of like your favorite, Baker Mayfield,
MVP?
4-game winning drives.
Yeah,
4-1.
He should be considered.
4 last second. So he did what Drake May did 4 times.
Yeah,
this year.
Yeah,
like I am as excited about Drake May. I will go back to this. I am the one that was very stubbornly saying I would still take him over Jaden Daniels last year when he hadn't really done a thing.
Yep.
I am enamored with the skill set.
Yeah.
But let's sort of watch him play a little bit. He did it once. I am very confident in Drake May, but MVP of the league?
Yep.
Do you think he's been the MVP of the league right now?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet. But
you start doing what you did in the second half, like on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Then we can talk MVP.
If he keeps playing if there's a big if, and
no,
if he
I know.
does,
I'm not criticizing the
and the
emailer.
Patriots win, then he will be in the running.
Yeah.
But like you said, Mayfield. Now the thing about Mayfield, though, as much as I love him, I think the league's better with him in it. He is streaky. So right now he's on a heater.
Yeah.
And let's see what happens.
You know who else is streaky?
Who's that?
Drake May.
Well, I don't think he's
And
been
right
around.
now he's on a heater.
Yeah, but I don't think he's been around long enough to be called streaky.
No, I know, but we're 2 games removed from him turning the ball over twice in a game that they lost to the Steelers. They had no business losing.
Right. So,
this brings me to a point. I mentioned this to you off the air. Like, again, the euphoria or what happened Sunday night is overwhelming all of our thoughts about the game, myself included. I am like, I picked the upset. The upset came through. I'm really excited about it. So just go to the last drive and just how quickly and how small, like, the margin for error is so razor thin. The first play gets blown up. They come in with immediate pressure. They're dragging Drake May to the ground, and as he's falling down, he desperately just throws a pass to Diggs for 12 yards. Evan said yesterday there was a guy right there who actually had his back turned. Let's just say he turns around and picks it off.
Yeah.
You know what that play is? That's the play he made against Pittsburgh in a 14-14 game on the game-winning drive in the fourth quarter when he's getting sacked and falling down and desperately tries to flip it out, only the Steeler guy knocked it out of his hands when he tried to do that, and it was a fumble.
Right.
That's how small the margin is.
Yep.
Like, you make more plays like the one he did Sunday night, and you become an MVP candidate. You make more plays like he did against Pittsburgh, and you're streaky.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? You know, it's a very fine line.
Yep. Hector Castellanos from Pennsylvania writes in, just want to say I agree with you, Paul, about what you said yesterday. We have to give props to New England on how they beat the Bills, and not that the Bills lost because they gave it away. When the Patriots played the Steelers, that is a game where you lose because you gave it away. The Patriots dominated that game, but gave it away due to turnovers.
Yeah, see, if I were Pittsburgh, I wouldn't be doing that either.
Yeah.
Like, I think there was a lot of similarities with those two games from the other. I don't care about the other team. I only care about my team.
That is not what happened in this game. The Bills Stadium was rocking. The fans were pumped, and the Patriots came in and played a game where it was a fight in the Bills' hometown. They made the Bills play in a way they didn't want to. Give credit where credit is due. I loved it, Paul. You were going off about it, and stay pumped up.
I give all the credit to the Patriots, yes. But the Bills did what the Patriots did against Pittsburgh. Like 11 penalties, 3 turnovers. Like, they've only themselves to blame for losing. But the Patriots, like in other words, I didn't take away all the credit for Pittsburgh for forcing some of those turnovers. And I'm not taking the credit away from the Patriots for making Buffalo play like that.
Yeah.
Like, holding calls sometimes are the result of you being better than the guy who's trying to block you. And they get back-to-back holding calls on consecutive drives in the first half of the game to set up 1st and 17s. The Patriots did something to create that. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not taking the credit away from the Patriots, and I'm also not taking the credit away from Pittsburgh in week 2 or 3 or whatever it was.
Yep. Bill in San Diego, I keep hearing that Diggs' past 2 games are the first consecutive 100-plus yard games by a wide receiver since Edelman.
I was waiting for someone to bring this up.
Booty had 100-plus yards in the last game of 24 and the first game of this season.
That is correct.
There are no games played between them, so those are consecutive games. Is there a reason no one is mentioning this? Well, kind of because it's the whole offseason separating them.
It is different.
Look,
here he is.
From the locker room, what was the mood? Were the players friendly? Too bad none of them look like Derrick Henry. Hey, Mike, what was it like in the locker room? Hey, Mike, what was it like in the locker room?
All right, Mike, what was it like?
Interview with the locker.
Is he still sweating?
He's still sweating. No, he's nice, kind of a Freddie sweater on today. A little sweater jacket.
Oh, yeah?
Cardigan, perhaps. Maybe.
Nice, okay.
Thanks for noticing. But he's, preaching this is a good team that we're going against, and went right down the list. And they might be, this is their record, but these are a good team, and anybody can win any week. And preaching that message of try not to take these guys lightly, and another chance.
Big crowd around him.
Huge
crowd.
Huge crowd.
A lot of jostling. Any fights?
No, not.
That happens, folks, once in a while.
It does. No, so far it's been really complimentary from the media. Me holding people's mics, others holding my mics. Working as a team to get these interviews. Collaborative.
Yeah.
It's nice to see you people come together.
It's not just the football collaborating.
Yeah.
And shout out Matt Collins. Like, it's a little tough when the spillover comes next to like their lockers, and Matt Collins is very understanding. And Mike Reese like, thanks Mac for letting. Oh, no problem. So he was very gracious about it. But the other interview that was interesting was Terrell Jennings, who had a sizable crowd around him, and locker right next to Antonio Gibson talked about how they're really close, and that Gibson kind of said, "This is your time now." So signs pointing, at least in the locker room, that Terrell Jennings is going to get some kind of opportunity. I'm not sure exactly what that means.
You think someone is, because I can't imagine they're going to go into a game with 2 running backs.
Yeah. So he I remember we haven't talked to him much. I mean, he's a practice squad guy, so usually, which
Does
is
Jennings
interesting.
return kicks?
Yeah, a little bit. He said he said it's a little bit like running the ball as well. So seems excited for his opportunity and has been making the most out of his behind the scenes development. Feels like he's really grown over the last month. So I think that's gonna be an interesting one. And then Christian Gonzalez was the last guy we talked to, and quiet. Don't worry, I'm doing great.
Yeah,
I'm going to shut down everybody.
Okay.
Not always, not a ton to say, but confident and looking at some of their explosive players.
And so our weekly Eye on Evan, where and who was he talking about?
Marcus Jones.
Marcus Jones.
Yeah. I saw him talking Marcus Jones, and I saw him booty, and I also heard him mention and you just knew how to get down on that one. He's talking about getting down, which we've talked about was really heads up play there at the
booty,
end.
yeah.
To catch the ball on the sidelines and quickly get down and keep the clock running. So Evan was
another very underrated play.
Yeah, doing his digging with some of those players.
There was another shout out by Vrabel to Taylor Kiles in his.
Oh, today?
Today.
Yeah.
So Evan reaction? Anything?
No, I didn't realize it yet. We'll have to check in with him. Hopefully he's not grousing about it or feeling bad. But Taylor Kiles was in there. He was asking questions, jumping in, asking scheme things, stuff of that nature. So. He's flying high right now. I think he's getting ready to get sapped up to the scouting department.
So mood?
Good. I mean, the energetic media crowd, as there always is on Wednesday, it's always the busiest day. And like I said, this Diggs has become a weekly occurrence. So everybody goes right to him right off the top. And, and he's a good interview. He doesn't, some guys are, I look at good as some guys who give you one sentence that tells you everything you need to hear and don't really meander on into sending more and more.
From PR, you think that's good.
Right. But Diggs, I think, is a great balance of he's not clipped with his answers, but he's also doesn't get himself into telling stories.
Now, it's rainy out today. It's very inclement weather.
Yeah.
Was it muggy in the locker room?
It was, actually.
It was very steamy,
That's very
muggy.
astute observation of you. To the point where
He's the
Cassidy,
best.
our wonderful producer that I was in there with, she's like, man, it's kind of hot in here right now. And she's from California. I said, wow, that's, my wife's from California. Usually after October, you don't hear her say it's too hot anywhere. She's cold the whole time. So, but we did comment. It was a little bit muggy, and now they're going out to the bubble. So I'll get a brief walk outside, cool down, and then back into.
Well, this will be the last year during the week that you'll be conducting interviews in that locker room, because next year they'll have their new training facility with their new state-of-the-art custom locker room.
Yeah.
So
that'll
maybe
complicate things.
I'm sure the HVAC will be much better in that new building.
Yeah. No, it sounds good. I'm curious what that's all like, but yeah, no, it's just kind of cool seeing Drake. You have these check-ins with him, and you see him in the locker room, and he's just like an average dude. You don't really think, and now he's coming off a huge game, and it's like, wow, all right, this kid's starting to get some mojo.
Obviously, he goes to the podium every week, so that's his availability. Right. But do people approach him?
A little bit, yeah, sure, a little bit here and there.
Tom
I've
Curran
seen
a lot.
Evan done it, like Evan be like, I just got a quick question about the cover 2-hole shot, like those kind of things. But he's always kind of got an ear out for the different conversations that are going on, and he'll shout, hey, chime into stuff. Same thing with Will Campbell. I noticed Will Campbell.
Oh yeah.
This is 2 weeks in a row. We've all been around Steph Diggs. We're all clamped, really in tight. And then you just see Will Campbell kind of walk over. And last week he was like, "Sup, Unc?" And then this week he just kind of gave.
Have we heard from him
recently,
Will Campbell?
Will? No, not really. A couple weeks ago.
I seem to. I'm not in the locker room every day, so I don't know.
A couple weeks ago, I remember.
But I
him.
seemed like I felt like we've heard from him.
Yeah.
On a regular basis.
Well, I think I came in.
Those guys have been good. The two kids have done a good enough job on that left side. That's very promising.
Yeah. No, I really liked Will Campbell. We heard from. I think it was week 2 that we last talked to him in the locker room. Usually he's kind of getting ready and getting out. Robert Spillane's like walking out right as we're walking in. He's an early practice guy. But no, I Will Campbell's along the lines of nice, short, clipped answers, direct, like we just got to go out there and do our job, like those kind of things.
Just want to dominate you.
I want to dominate you bad. So love it. Good atmosphere, good mojo around the team right now, and now you just got to keep it going down there in New Orleans, where you said Fred, they lost 2 Super Bowls and won 1 Super Bowl down there in New Orleans. A lot of Patriots history down there in that stadium.
Yeah, it is. I always think it'd be a cool thing for you to do. Well, you're not going to be there, but maybe for our content team to do, like whether it was Saturday or Sunday morning, like early, go out on that field and stand at the spots where all these great plays happen for us in that place. Where Vinatieri kicked, where Ty Law had the interception, where
Patton's touchdown.
Yeah, where McGinnis had a sack, or all
those something? Did he do anything in that? Anything special?
Well, he threw 2 touchdown passes in the first quarter to give him a lead, but that game did not end well.
I know. Oh,
Right.
Just pretend it was.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about 96.
And this was where we kicked the
That was
field
my
goal to make
first
it 3-0
reaction
against the Bears.
the other day when we were talking about some of this stuff. I was like, oh, well, yeah. Like 1 and 2. Like,
yeah.
Not great.
Yeah.
Not great.
I mean,
but
the rest of the league should have our problems. We're only 1 and 2 in Super Bowls that were played at that
one
venue.
place. Right. We've had so many.
it was random, though, to go to 3 Super Bowls. I mean, 1985, 1996, 2001, with on like a, whatever that is, like a 16-year period. And all 3 of the Super Bowls you went to just happened. And I know back then it was only like, 3 spots. That it
Well,
kind of
New Orleans
rotated
was a
through.
regular rotation
Miami,
spot.
Yeah. And now, so also I would say that venue is the site of the greatest Super Bowl halftime event ever, which was U2.
Oh, yeah, sure.
In 2001.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's come close since, and nothing was even close before that. Despite what anybody has to say about Katy Perry or anything else, that was the greatest halftime Super Bowl act.
And it's that kind of country unity.
Tell
seems
me
a
I'm
long
wrong.
way ago.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I just think it's an asterisk.
Well, yeah.
I think Mike Dussault and the Whalers could have played based on
No. But
the spot
but the whole thing,
based on where the country was.
I know,
like,
but the way it was presented and opening up and having the flag, it was just, yes, the circumstances, but that's part of it.
Yeah, I just thought that it had. Well, it's just it's a personal thing. I get what Fred's saying, and I know U2 is a popular, but I don't like U2.
Yeah.
So like,
but
the whole ceremony, like production through the roof, unbelievable.
Yeah.
The banners when they came down with the
names.
victims' names, like it was unbelievably powerful.
Yeah.
I wouldn't ever say anything other than what Fred just said. U2 is not my thing.
No.
And then like Whitney Houston when she sang the Star Spangled Banner. Like, what were the circumstances? Was there anything special?
Desert Storm just started. Yeah.
I mean, again, circumstances made it. You felt more patriotic at that moment, but like her unmatched. Nothing's come close.
No.
I don't think.
No.
That's a tremendous rendition.
I mean, not many of those stand out in memory.
I mean, she could blow.
Oh yeah.
It is funny that I can't believe you just said that. It is sort of. I guess it's a great coincidence that you have. I mean, as much as I don't really care for U2, U2 is an iconic band.
Yeah.
And Whitney Houston. I mean, there are a few people on the planet who have ever sung that song the way she can.
Yeah.
Or could.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. That they were lined up for that. I don't know if when that all the timing of all that stuff came down, but you had iconic people for a very specific time in the country.
Yeah.
Like would it have been less if it was like some kind of no name singing the national anthem that was like a fly by night.
I mean, she's just special the way she could crush it, and I mean. I don't know. It was just the whole thing. It just felt like the atmosphere, like same thing with 2001.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, little trip down New Orleans memory lane. We will be back tomorrow with another edition of Patriots Unfiltered. We'll have picks. Any preview, Paul? How did we do? I didn't have a good feeling. Even last week for my picks, I didn't feel good about it.
Just saying, Paul's making a little bit of a run.
Uh-oh.
I got to retire.
Much like the Bills, we're starting to hear footsteps.
Not from me.
Much like the Bills, I have a long way to go.
All right. Well, we will see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening today.
Hey, this is Alex. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, make sure you follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else we do here at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.